Greetings from the dungeon. I'm Metal Queen. We're Not Gonna Take It is a song by the American band Twisted Sister from their third and breakthrough album, Stay Hungry. It was first released as a single with You Can't Stop Rock and Roll as the B-side in around April 1984. The full album was released 2 weeks later in May 1984. The song was ranked there's several statistics here I'm going to read to you. It was number 47 on the 100 Greatest 80s Song, number 21 on VH1's 100 Greatest One-Hit Wonders of the 80s. And it was number 21 in the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, basically the only top 40 single. And the band was ranked 73 in VH1's 100 Greatest Artists of Rock. Now, for them to get all these accolades, it took them years and years, a dozen years. And we're gonna go through a little bit of that. How does a band come up with a song like this? We'll soon find out. The lineup for this album was Dee Snider on vocals, JJ French on rhythm and lead guitar, Eddie Fingers Ojeda also on lead guitar and rhythm guitar, Mark the Animal Mendoza on bass, and AJ Pero on drums. Before their breakthrough album and their breakthrough song, the band had been playing professionally 5 days a week for a decade. All the details are in their documentary, We Are Twisted Sister, and the story is one of perseverance. JJ formed the band in 1972 in the glitter rock style. By 73, 74, the band was already playing 5 days a week professionally, and they had some lineup issues. And JJ knew his range of singing he was singing was limited. So that's when Dee Snider came into the picture. He also recruited Eddie Ojeda, who had gone to high school with him, who was also playing professionally somewhere else. Snatched him up. When Dee joined the band, they changed their image. They started wearing women's clothing and full makeup, including a hot red lipstick. Now at this time, they were playing mostly covers. And Dee was really in awe of JJ. JJ already had a reputation of being this great musician, so Dee Snider humbly submitted a song for review and JJ kind of brushed him off. So that made Dee Snider really determined to write much better and much more songs to get JJ's attention and to write original material. Now Mark Mendoza joins the band in bass, and they were selling out shows all over the suburbs, New Jersey, Long Island, but not in Manhattan. And they would sell out 500 to 2,000 seaters. Now they had a big break. They were gonna play Manhattan at the Palladium, which seats 3,000 people. They sold 3,000 tickets in a few days, without internet, without barely any radio airplay, basically word of mouth. They had a tremendous following, and well, bad luck strikes. Turns out after selling all the tickets, the drummer hit his head, couldn't do the show.
Damn.
Record executives were supposed to appear at this show. So the head for Epic Records asked the band to perform the same exact set for him privately on a Monday at noon, because it was lunchtime, it was convenient for the guy. The band puts the show together for one guy, and the guy leaves before the show's over, never calls them back, doesn't pay them back for the show. A complete waste of money, a complete waste of time. The guy just hates the band. But not all is lost. They had a really great gig coming up at Adventureland. Zebra was gonna be there. They're expecting a few thousand people. 23,000 people showed up. And the crowds were so rowdy and so crazy that they destroyed everything around them. And Twisted Sister was banned from playing outdoor festivals in that area forever. Strike 2 of bad luck, or 3 already. I don't know, I've lost count. Time went on. Then one night, there's a show in Detroit. Eddie Kramer's in the crowd, shows up, wants to work with them, is dying to work with them, and the band didn't have enough of a budget to hire him, so he wanted to get them signed, and even he couldn't broker a record deal with anybody. Nobody would touch him. Wah, wah. Strike N. You know you're in a shithole if you can't get Eddie Kramer to broker a record deal for your band. That word is now presidential. So they talked to Handshake Records, bad deals, just no go. Then in 1981, the German label X Records offered them a deal. The executive stopped at the airport on his way home, signed the contracts, and flew back to Germany. On a flight to Germany, the guy had a heart attack, so the deal fell through. Next, then Secret Records in the UK offered them a deal, and they went to the UK to record Under the Blade. And they came back to the USA, and Under the Blade was released, and it was number 75 in the UK. And when they were supposed to go back to the UK for the tour, because they had a distribution version and a tour to support the album. So they were supposed to go back. One of the partners of Secret Records secretly took the money and ran, bankrupting the label. That meant no tour to support the album. And to make matters worse, they had announced to their American fans that they would be in Europe for 2 months supporting the album. So to save face, they didn't tour to the USA either.
Oh.
However, before Secret Records went bust, they had been scheduled to play a live show in the UK called The Tube. So they borrowed a ton of money from all the club owners they played for in the last 10 years as a leap of faith. Come on, we're gonna go to England and play this live show. And when they're in England, Robo and Lemmy from Motorhead show up on stage and play with them. And lo and behold, the senior vice president of Atlantic Records UK is in that show. Approaches Twisted Sister's manager and says, we want to offer you a deal. And the manager starts laughing hysterically, thinks it's a hoax. But yes, that's how they got signed. Finally, after so many years and so many trials and tribulations. Ta-da! But our heroes are not flying into the sunset yet, or walking or on a horse or whatever you say. They still have more hurdles because when the CEO in America learned that they got signed in the UK, he lost his shit. So they recorded the second album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And they were touring in the UK, but had no support from the label whatsoever. So nobody knew that they were touring. And then they played in the United States. And every time they played, and there was an Atlantic Records executive in the crowd would call corporate and say, guys, you gotta promote these guys. They got so many phone calls, the corporate office, that they just had to start promoting the album. And finally, with so much pressure, they recorded the third album, Stay Hungry. And the rest, as you know, is history. Oof. The lyrics. Lyrics were written by Dee Snider. And they're based on personal experience when his dad was staring him a new one. And he wrote them very generic, so it's not just about parents. It could be applied to boss, a teacher, a coach, the popo, or Harvey Weinstein. It really worked because that song has been used in countless ad campaigns and all sorts of campaigns around the world, actually. And the song structure, the song itself is very catchy. And Dee started writing it like 2 years before even they recorded their first album. He was having a problem with a melody. He had the hook, but just didn't have the melody for the verse. When he heard Def Leppard and Mutt Lange, and then he realized he could use the same melody, just a little different, in the verses. But it's basically the chorus melody in the verse. The use of the chorus as a kind of song intro gets you into the song immediately. Let's listen to that intro. Now, for influences of the song, he cites the Christmas carol, O Come, All Ye Faithful. So don't be afraid to steal from really old songs. And the melody of the song is consistent, including through the solo. This solo is by Eddie Ojeda. Now the song structure is a variation of the typical A-B, A-B, C-B. Well, now their structure is B-A, B-A, C-B, C-B. We're gonna play the verse and we're gonna play the chorus and you're gonna hear how similar they are.
We'll fight the powers that be, just don't pick on destiny, 'cause you don't know us, you don't belong.
Listen responsibly, okay? Because you're gonna end up playing the air guitar if you listen to this. So make sure nobody's watching, okay? I wouldn't do justice to this song if we don't talk about the video. Video was exploding. MTV was exploding in 1984. And the video was basically a cartoonish rendition of a family. And the kid just wants to rock. The band got a lot of attention when in 1985 the song was listed as the Dirty 15 Most Offensive Songs by the PMRC. It's a group formed by politicians' wives who had nothing better to do. They cited the song for violence. Dee Snider testified in opposition at a Senate hearing alongside John Denver and Frank Zappa. So what happened was the babbling buffoons got their wish to put stickers on albums they deemed offensive. Before 1985, you could buy any music, it didn't have stickers on it. Basically what happened is us, the teenagers, we wanted to buy those albums that had the stickers on them. So they promoted the albums instead of deterring the people listening to the albums. Forget about it. Rock and roll got the last laugh. With that, I leave you. From the dungeon, Metal Queen. Have a great evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Ciao.